welcome to Face Off. Well, she's in the house today, not House of Representatives, but House of Face Off. The youngest and first female state speaker, YB Hannah Yeoh, right next to us. Welcome, Ernie also. Welcome,
Thank
YB.
you, Anne and Ernie. Yeah.
How are you doing today?
I'm good.
That's a lovely color.
Thank you.
My favorite color.
How has your job been? You are notably the youngest and a woman for that matter. How have you been handling your job?
Since the election of Speaker on the 21st of June and the swearing in, I've had one sitting so far, and that lasted for 6 days in the State Assembly. That was good experience. I think the first day was nerve-wracking for me, so I was a bit nervous in that seat. So I was busy adjusting my songko and my robe. But after the second day, I felt more at home and more comfortable, and I began to really like my job as the speaker.
You are very young, YB. You are very young in years and also young in life experiences. Do you think you have the capability and are you really suitable to become the House Speaker as of now?
I think I have the right training, the right background. I graduated from law, Bachelor of Laws, and also 5 years as the Assemblyman. I had 5 years of experience in the State Assembly, working in the select committees and also learning from the former Speaker, Datuk Teng Chan Kim. So I don't think I have everything to make a good speaker, but I'm able to learn, and I think I have the right people around me to help me learn and do my best for the State Assembly.
If you were not the one that's been selected as the House Speaker, who would be the next best person to take on the role?
Another woman, maybe?
I don't know. We haven't thought about it, but I think they were considering a few people, from PKR, DAP, and PAS, and also it largely dependent at the time on who would be in the EXCO lineup, and then who would take the position of Speaker and Deputy Speaker. So.
But being in that seat, it's a really hot seat, I'm sure, and you have also the BN reps. Yeah. How do you actually evaluate yourself and portray yourself as someone who is neutral for both sides, after all?
Okay, I think the rule is quite simple. I learned that, never do unto others what you don't like others to do unto you, right? So I've been in the State Assembly before, and we are opposition at Parliament. So I've heard so many times, from our MPs, they say, I don't have enough time to speak. I'm never chosen by the Speaker to speak. It's not fair. They dismiss our motion just like that. The speaker is biased, and so I thought, okay, that's not too difficult to do. Giving the assemblyman the rightful place and time for them to speak up on behalf of their constituents, and it cost me nothing, to allow that for them to speak.
But YB, it's never enough. You give me 5 minutes, I'll say you just didn't give me enough. And being Barisan Nasional, your opposition, they will always say you are just not being fair.
Oh, trust me, in the Selangor
Did you
State
get
Assembly,
that? Did you get that?
in Selangor State Assembly, we had problem in the past getting the assemblyman to stand up and speak from Barisan Nasional. And so this time I had a word with a new opposition head from Sungai Burong, and I say, how long would you like to speak for? And he say, I think about 2 hours. We gave him 2 hours to speak.
Wow.
Until he has nothing else to say, and then he sat down. And so because we only have 12, and I'm very mindful that you need a strong opposition for check and balance.
Sure.
And so we must not deny them that voice. And so I say, okay, for as long as you want, you are the opposition head, you represent all the opposition, you can speak for as long
As far as Barisan Nasional, if they were in power, they wouldn't want to check and balance and they wouldn't want you to be checking on them.
No, that's why we must lead by example. So maybe at the Parliament side, they don't know how it's been done, or they don't know how, to be fair to others. So we have to show and lead. When we are in power in the State Assembly, we have to be consistent with what we ask from them. We have to give the same to them. Yeah.
And on your side, also DAP, you all have been asked to declare your assets.
That's right.
Yeah, is that difficult to do?
No, I'm actually just waiting for the form, and I'll be happy to fill them all up and declare. I think it's about time people know how much a clean politician has.
So you're saying that
Really
you're
nothing
saying that DAP has got all clean politicians, and if that's the case,
I'm not saying that everyone from DAP is clean, but I'm saying that we have system in place to check people who are in position of power and also to make sure that we are transparent.
How do you do that?
How we do that? Again, we lead by example. So you can see in Penang, Guan Eng has led the way, and also in Selangor, I'm just now waiting for the form to fill up and declare. Yeah.
Do you feel that okay, we've brought up Penang, and they are really developing very well. We get a lot of feedback. In fact, I
Yeah.
myself run up to G13, spoke
Yeah.
to the people, and they were happy with what's happening in Penang. What about Selangor?
Okay, to be fair, I think people do compare Penang and Selangor a lot. Penang, you have 2 local councils, and Selangor, you have 12. So I think our Menteri Besar Tan Sri Khalid has promised very close to the election time that if given a second term, he wants to reform the local council. And so I think this is where a lot of locals in Selangor are waiting to see that. They want to see reforms in the local council. So we want to see what people have been experiencing in Penang, a cleaner state. Basic services are being looked after. So I think we have a lot to improve on in Selangor, a lot of room for improvement, and this is what I'm also waiting to see as the State Assemblyman for Subang Jaya. I want to see reforms in the local councils.
To be fair to Barisan Nasional, so I live in Selangor currently. I was just in Penang 2 weeks ago for a holiday, and I still see when it was under Barisan Nasional and today under the opposition state government controlled, every single signage I go through nearer to a traffic light, the signages are still covered by trees, and I never understood that. So one day I asked a question, why are they trees in front of signages? It just defeats the purpose. And they told me that because we were contracted to place every 5 meters one tree. So when it came to the 5th meter, we just put the tree there. So I've not seen much of a difference with regards to that. So how would the current government convince a resident of Selangor or even Penang that it's different than what it was before?
I think it has a lot to do with education, not just the people, but also the civil servants. I think in the past, if you see, a lot of them just act on instruction. That means they don't even dare to challenge if that policy is a bad policy. Nobody dares to speak up. And I think this is what Tan Sri Khalid wants to do in Selangor, to actually give the civil servants more room to think and
Common sense, sort of
and
thing.
also to comment.
Are our civil servants in Selangor more effective, efficient? Because Tony Poa mentioned that we should be removing 1/3 of the government servants itself. Are we saying that we will be doing the same with Selangor civil servant, or are we saying that they're more effective than the rest of the country?
No, I think I cannot say all civil servants are bad or all civil servants are good, but I have seen good ones, right? And when I see good ones, I see the challenges that they face. They are not properly rewarded, okay?
in
And
terms of dollars and cents.
and also in terms of promotion, right? It's so difficult to be promoted. You literally have to wait for that particular senior to move away. Sometimes it doesn't happen for years. And so for an ordinary civil servant, how can the leaders motivate you to work harder? I think this is where we must find a balance. I've seen also, in public engagement, public dialogues, before they can say anything, the people already have such bad impression of civil servants, and they just assume all civil servants are lazy. And you can have a good engineer sitting there, having to come out at night to have a public engagement, public dialogue with them, but they are not treated with respect. I've seen some really bad. How do I say, bad response from the people towards the civil servants.
You mean like bringing a broom to award the people? Is that
That was the past.
Oh, that was the past, okay.
Never happened since then. Yeah, but
So no more broom. Yeah.
but I have come from the background of, from outside just thinking that everything inside is rotten. Now I'm inside and I understand better how things work, and I see it's not fair to label everyone.
So not all is rotten.
Correct. I've seen some really hardworking ones. They are on their Blackberries, responding to our messages at 12 midnight, 9 p.m., 10 p.m. Yeah.
Why are they not in the corporate world if they're so effective and efficient? Because their skills and commitment will be very much appreciated, and they will definitely make much more and rewarded much better than what they are doing currently.
In the corporate world,
what's keeping them wanting to stay in the civil service then?
I have seen some who have actually left. I've seen one engineer and another one. They left the civil service, and one went on to study, another one to stay at home with the kids. Why? I don't know. I've never been a civil servant.
Why? What's in it for you? You've been going into it. You're young. You are dynamic. You have a law degree. You have a beautiful family. Why go through all this trouble and hassle to do what you're doing, and you get bombarded by the governing body? Why?
Why?
Because she wants to be probably one of the most powerful women in
No,
Malaysia.
She's just number
That's
6 right now, right?
number
So she
six.
wants to be
She's
number one.
Number 6.
I think someone has to do the job, and for me, I have to give it a try before I quit.
Yeah, I'm sure you know a lot of
You see.
news right now with all the guns and everything out there. Tomorrow, there's someone holding a gun, point to you and say, you know what, you're doing too good of a job for the country, for your state. I think you better step down. What would you next?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that because we see people being gunned down now in Malaysia, and I think not just the politicians are worried. You see ordinary businessmen, ordinary folks being gunned down, and
That makes you even a bigger target.
yes and no lah. I mean, I have clean conscience. I don't go around hurting people, so I
But
I
what
don't
do
know
you
why
think?
people want to gun me down.
But what do you think of the level of sensitivity, that's in relation to racial and religious issues these days, where even Barisan Nasional people are saying that it's been politicized by the opposition, and therefore it becomes like maybe from a little molehill, it becomes like a mountain.
I disagree with that. That opposition is the cause of all that. I think, number one, people see the same law but being applied differently on people, right? In the past, you have seen someone like Ibrahim Ali, Zulkifli Nordin, said more
Racist, racial?
remarks, and now you see a dog trainer.
Who's my former employee, by the way?
Yeah.
Chats.
Yeah, Chats Yusof. She's actually a very harmless person.
Yeah,
She's harmless,
Yeah.
right?
and she's being
Yeah.
taken in because they say
Like a criminal.
something she did is seditious. So people have seen more seditious stuff being said over primetime news, but nothing has happened to those people. And here you have very 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 innocent dog trainer being in. So people are when people are dissatisfied because they see laws being applied differently to different people, you are just going to have more of such remarks coming out. Number one, and also number two, I really feel that media has the responsibility and a role to play in this.